Okay, hey ladies and gents. So today I'm just gonna do a quick stream. I'm gonna be reviewing Facebook. It's just had a lot of news lately. It's a pretty popular stock with a lot of volume. I haven't traded it in a little bit, but I am interested in it just because of all the news. And I just actually seen that Disney had just cut ad spending on Facebook, so that's gonna be interesting how it's gonna react. But yeah, let's get into this. Based off this analysis today, we'll see if I end up trading Facebook this coming week, but we will see about that. So first thing off is I'm gonna analyze the monthly charts. Right off the back, you can kind of see that there's some consolidation here that Facebook was in, which is going to be kind of important. I don't think I'm going to mark it just yet. I will do this though. Going to mark the highest resistance. Going to mark a support here. I kind of like this one better. Yeah, I'm going to mark that one. So we have our resistance or support lines for our monthly. We can see actually too, it's kind of in this little channel here. Think so. Looking at this, I don't really clearly see a trend line. What I do see is that looks like Facebook hit its top of 250 and 15 cents. Right at that top it reversed, so I guess the losers sellers started winning. Bulls couldn't keep it up as high, kind of fell back below this other resistance. But right now it's nothing extremely concerning. But just to keep note that it's iffy right here. With this candle is really not telling me too much, but over here, you have the doji candle, which kind of showing up or down, and here it just shows that there was no but then again too, this month so we're still almost in the middle of the month, so this could change. We could go even lower, and right there we would have I believe an inverse hammer candle, I believe. But either way, that would be bearish, but we'll see what happens. We have to let this candle finish. For now it was uptrending, but it could be topping here. Earnings is coming up too, actually. 7/29 earnings is going to come up next week, not this week coming up, but next week, Wednesday. So that's what I can see for the monthly here. Nothing really that stands out to me. We are below, the past few months we had above average volume, and for them, so that don't really make sense. For now we have below average. Coming into the middle of the month, really low actually. We have our RSI is above 66, which is pretty bullish, so that's interesting to look at. We're still bullish on the RSI. Still a lot of buying volume or buying pressure. Stochastic still looks bullish to me. So quite a few things look bullish. I could not say I'm fully bearish on the monthly. But let's dive in as we get to see more details. All right, so on the weekly, we have some sort of trend here. I'm gonna try to mark this now because we can kind of see a bit more clear of what's going on. This was an uptrend, but it broke that. So now we're in this kind of uptrend, if you want to call it an uptrend. Let's see. I'm gonna redraw it as a channel. So it looks like we're in a channel right now. This looks a lot more cleaner, which is why I like to draw these on the weekly and not the monthly. You can see a bit more detail. And we're holding right in the middle of this channel, so this is gonna be interesting. Last week we were bullish the last couple of weeks until this week right here. We're looking a little a little iffy here. Buyers didn't necessarily win, or necessarily couldn't keep it up. Sellers couldn't really keep it down. It was just it hit the price of $231.51, and it was just bought right back up. Let's see. Could reverse though. We're making lower highs here, so that's sort of bearish on the RSI. But we're still above 60, which is still bullish. Buy momentum still pretty high, and stochastic is showing some possible more upside still. So it really is interesting, because the sentiment on Facebook right now is, in general, if you weren't looking at these charts, is like, okay, you don't know if you're bullish or bearish. People are leaving Facebook in terms of ad spending. They're cutting their spending temporarily. So you would think it's going to hurt the company, but it seems like not all traders or investors are completely buying that it's going to hurt the company. So you have this kind of, like as I'm analyzing it, you have these bullish bearish signs, but overall so far I'm seeing more more of a bullish case. It's just not, the sell side is not too strong. Let's see, but maybe we'll uncover more stuff while we go in. But right now, this is nice to know we're in this channel right here. So if we do come down and break this channel, we have a support here. That makes sense. We have a support 221.38. We could see that come back down here to hit the bottom of this channel, or we could see it pop. It needs to, we see a resistance here too, actually. So it could break up and hit the top of the channel, which we can almost go to 275. I just don't see that though yet. I feel like there's too much resistance here. What we could do, if you kind of recognize this, we have an ascending triangle here, which is a bullish. You have the resistance here. We have our uptrend. It could play into this channel. We could see it move around here, and it's going to want to break out. It's going to have to break out somewhere. It's either going to break this resistance or break down. So that's something to look at and keep note. Maybe it's a play that we can just watch, not necessarily trade, because we're on the weekly. So this could take up to almost the end of August, 8/31. I'm assuming about late August we can see a big breakout. Facebook could actually consolidate here. Could consolidate here until then, or a breakout earlier. Lately, I've been noticing a lot of patterns have been breaking out earlier than when you get closer to that breakout point. That's the weekly for now. So it's interesting. I'm still not necessarily bearish on this, or bullish. Actually, I'm more leaning on the bullish side than bearish, but I see some consolidation. All right, we're gonna go. So we did the monthly, weekly. I'm going to the daily. The daily I like too. Probably the daily is one of my favorites, just because you can see even more detail, and it's kind of cool that we drew this channel here on the weekly, and you can kind of see that this the trend on the stock has been following this channel. So it kind of confirms we're doing something right here. It's hitting the points, it's respecting the channel, hit the top, bounce back, hit it's the middle right here, this middle of the trend line, of this channel. It's being respected as well. It breaks through it, falls down, or it hits it and it acts as a support, which is good to know. Right here it's acting actually as a resistance. So we could definitely see, if we're on the bearish case, we could see it come back down to like 220, 219. I say a 220 minimum, 220, 222. But if it breaks through this resistance, it's gonna have a tough time passing the 250. 250 again. If it breaks out through, though, again, we can see that. We can really see a breakout here. So, or like in my case, what I'm really leaning to is consolidation between the resistance of 250 and 220, and as we climb 230. Yeah, so I mean it's a good range. So there's not necessarily consolidation where you can't trade it, where I would say that, I mean, there's enough price movement, price action that we can trade this, but depends how tight it goes. I mean, right now if you look at it, we're actually seeing pretty tight consolidation here. So let me see. I'll mark that right there, and then we have this tight right there. So we're actually really tight right here, and we're just bouncing. So this I would not trade if we're just going to keep bouncing in this channel. I mean, let me see. So we have the bottom one is 236 and 18 cents, top one is 247. So ideally it's not really quality trades. You know, it's consolidating. If you're trading stocks, then yeah, this can be good. You know, you can play off this channel, but for options it's gonna hurt with time, as it just goes sideways. So we want to watch out for that. We could see sideways action all the way to this breakout, but who knows, we'll see. Again, the news could be a catalyst for this to break down. We could touch that bottom channel, and if we do break out of this channel, then you know, we're extremely bearish. We can fall back actually to 207. You know, one thing I'll do here actually is, hopefully it's not too many lines. Mark here the resistance. We got a lot of lines going on here. Let's see. I'm gonna remove these ones. So what we have here, yeah, we have our strong resistance at 215 cents and 233.95. Most likely 234 is going to be, no, I'm sorry, not 234 actually, probably going to be a strong support. So we're going to see a bounce around there on that channel. We want to see a break below that. We're going to be in a chop zone, so it's not a good thing to trade there. So it's looking, if we go bearish, we're looking very choppy. Probably not quality trades in terms of long term, but we could see a lot of price action, movement at least. And we definitely just want to watch that 250 level. We hit 250, we can go to 262 and 66 cents, and then we can continue going to, let's see, 277.84 cents. So if we break 250, my first price target would be 262 and 66 cents. And then the next target would be 277 and 84 cents. And if we break down, 233 and 95 cents would be my first target. And there we'd be chopping. The second price target would be 228 and 77 cents. But again, in this channel right here, between these two orange lines, we would see a lot of chop. Let me see. I'm gonna leave those there and see. So that's a daily. Other than that, we do see lower highs here. So as we go into the daily, it does look a bit bearish to me. You know, we see just chop, so I see nothing bullish in this case. We're just consolidating here. I'm seeing exactly on these indicators. I'm seeing consolidation too. Nothing's really showing me bullish or bearish. We are below volume here for this whole pattern and this consolidation. Let's see. Buying pressure is still on the upside, but we could start to see some selling pressure coming in. And right here, stochastic just looks a bit bearish. Nothing really bullish just yet. We could see a little bit more up movement. Again, we're just bouncing in this channel, so I do see it maybe next week coming, in the next few days. Next 2 days we could go up just a little bit, but we're just consolidating and we're just going up and down, playing in this channel here. If you can see right here, stochastic is just right here. We just made some. I can expect this to get tighter. These moving averages just gonna get tighter. Okay, go to the 4 hour. Again, you know, we're in this nice channel here that's been respecting. We're in the middle of this. You know what? I gotta get rid of these lines. Let me see. Okay, so we're in the middle of this channel still. Again, consolidating. Okay, now we're getting to something interesting here on the 4 hour. We started a squeeze here. I mean, this is really tight. We're going sideways here. There's nothing but sideways action. Sideways. Build some lower high here. We'll see if we break this high. Whoa. Move that. We got this high right here. Looks like it acted as a support. I mean, as a resistance over here. Right here, it looked like it acted as a resistance on this RSI. So we could see, I mean, this almost looks like a double bottom too. I mean, double top. So this could act as resistance and come down, kind of failing to break that lower high, and then possibly come down and make another lower high. So a little bearish there. Again, we have the squeeze. We don't know which way it's gonna fire. You know, up or down. But yeah, I still really couldn't tell. I mean, it's just consolidating. I really couldn't tell which way it wants to go right now. Let's see. I feel like the overall sentiment for new traders and new investors is they're just still just bullish on Facebook, and just like the market shrugging off all the bad news, it just looks exactly like what Facebook is trying to do. It's just shrugging off all the bad news, but we'll see what this squeeze does. I mean, it looks like right when I mean, it built a squeeze into earnings. You know, and it built a squeeze into earnings, and you know, it went from a price of 239 to 230, and before the earnings it was at 250, the highest, and then came back down to 230, 231. And we're just acting as a support right here. I don't know, we'll see. You know, when we see consolidation, we're seeing the big money market makers. You know, we're trying to think, what are they doing? Are they buying? Are they selling here? Are they accumulating, or are they distributing shares? I cannot tell yet. But whatever you know, Facebook decides to do, we'll find out. If it breaks up, most likely they were accumulating. Breaks down, they were distributing. We're gonna go to the 1 hour now. I normally don't go down this far to analyzing stocks, just because I don't like the too short-term type of analyzing. More for I would like to know the bigger picture, and then I'll do like kind of the intraday type of analysis during the day of trade, just because things change. Yeah, I mean, here there was a squeeze right here, and it fired down. I mean, it looked like it was firing down. The selling pressure was going, I mean, buyer pressure was going away, kind of faded. And we're still just in this consolidation here. I actually can create a channel on this one, on the hourly. So we're in this little trend. Let me remove this. Okay. Okay, so we're consolidating slightly in this channel, but we're also on a slight uptrend on this. So ever since this fall, we've been going up and making higher lows. We've definitely been making higher lows, which is bullish, but ever so slightly. Okay, so, and then again, we got to remember there's a Disney news that just came out today, so we don't, you know, this can totally affect everything, you know, that we see on Monday, what Facebook decides to do. I expect to see some sell-off on the news, and then, you know, just like the market, everyone buying in back at the dip. But we'll see. I mean, the news too for Corona and all that hasn't really been affecting or has been affecting the market. It seems choppy. It was definitely choppy Friday. So I think that's it for analyzing Facebook. So overall, what we've seen here, and this is the 15-minute. We can see actually, I trade on the 15-minute only. So it's interesting to see this is respecting the channel. You can obviously trade off this channel too just by watching this, but I usually watch flow as well to get my entry and exits. But I'm gonna be watching here. I don't think I'm gonna be trading if it's in this channel. I'll be watching for the breaks above this channel and this, probably the break above this and the break above the support of the channel. That's what I'll be watching to get into a trade. If I see that break, I'm gonna kind of closely watch 251. I feel like if we break this, we're gonna break into 251 and hit that, and hopefully break. If we break through that, I'm buying. A break below here, I would look for a case to short. But overall, we're in consolidation. I can't specifically say bullish or bearish, but if I had to say like what I'm leaning towards, I feel like long term, I didn't really see. As we were analyzing the monthly, the weekly, and the daily, I don't really see anything for a bearish case. I think we're still on an uptrend. The trend is your friend. We're just consolidating, and we're just moving along this trend here. So if you have options, it could kill you because as you can see, it went down, it went up. It's it's in a way it's consolidating. We're in the middle of this channel. We can see still more movement in this middle of the channel. But if you have if you're trading stocks, it's going to be really good just to know off that we're in this channel here. And you can play off of I would definitely, if you want to play some high reward, kind of low risk plays, you definitely want to buy probably if it hits the bottom of this channel. I'd recommend buying. But again, that's up to you. You adjust your own risk. I'm not in charge of your money. And it's also for education, so I take that back. I don't recommend. It's up to you, but that's something that I would do. If it hits the top, you could even try to, or I might try to short it for a play bounce back. But if it breaks through, that's a big time buy. But you can see here, it hit the top of the channel, and then the next week we went back down. So we could try doing that again, but for now, we'll see. We'll see if the news does affect it. People will see a sell-off. We could see a sell-off to the support at 233, and then we can come back down to the bottom of this channel at 220, 221. Yeah, so that's it for this Facebook analysis. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to message me. Overall, again, I think long-term we're bullish. Short-term could be choppy and bearish. But I'm going to try to play this trend. One more time, the trend is your friend. Thanks, guys.